All right, let's talk about professional email marketing. We're going to cover the whole shebang, from picking the right tools all the way to staying on the right side of the law. Because let's be real, getting this right can absolutely transform your business. But getting it wrong, well, that can be a seriously expensive mistake. Let's get into it. Look, when it's done right, email marketing is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful tools you have for growing your business. I mean, it's a direct line to your customers. It can skyrocket engagement, build up your brand, and drive some serious sales. But done right, that's the magic phrase here. Because when it's done wrong, it can go south fast. And when I say go south, I'm not talking about a few unsubscribes. I'm talking about a multi-million-dollar disaster. And this number? This isn't just for dramatic effect. It's a very real fine that a company just had to pay for getting email marketing wrong.
Yep, as Zoho Campaigns pointed out, back in August 2024, a security firm called Verkada had to write a check for this exact amount for violating the CAN-SPAM Act. This is actually the biggest fine ever for this type of violation. It's the perfect example of why knowing the rules isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential to protect your business.
So where do you even begin? Well, the very first step, the foundation of everything, is choosing your core technology, the engine that's going to power your whole email program. One really powerful option, especially if you're an agency or maybe a franchise, is what's called a white label platform. So what is that? It basically lets you take a powerful, existing email service, slap your own brand on it, and sell it as your own. You get to offer your email platform to clients and open up a whole new revenue stream, all without the insane cost of building one from scratch. Now, these platforms usually fall into two main camps. On one side, you've got your out-of-the-box solutions, think BigMailer or ActiveCampaign. These are ready-to-go, hosted platforms, perfect for agencies or anyone who isn't a coder. Then on the other side, you have services like Mailgun, which are embedded using APIs. These are for developers who want to build email features right into their own apps, and that, of course, requires a lot more technical work.
Okay, so you've thought about the engine you need. The next logical question on everyone's mind is, of course, what's this going to cost me?
Well, pricing structures can really vary. You might see a monthly retainer for continuous, ongoing work, or maybe a one-time project-based fee for a specific campaign. Some just charge a simple hourly rate, and then there are even agencies that offer performance-based pricing, where they only get paid based on the results you get, like actual sales or conversions.
And just to give you a quick ballpark, starter plans for some of the big names can go from around $10 a month with MailChimp to $15 for GetResponse and $20 for Constant Contact. But keep in mind, these prices can climb really fast depending on how many contacts you have and the features you need. The real takeaway is you have to match the service to your budget and your goals.
All right, you've picked your engine, you've figured out the cost. Now we have to talk about the rules of the road. And in the United States, that means getting to know the CAN-SPAM Act.
So CAN-SPAM was passed way back in 2003, and it was the first national law that really set the standard for commercial email. Its main goal is actually pretty simple. Give people the right to tell you to stop emailing them. And get this, it applies to all commercial emails, even if you're sending to people who happily signed up for your list.
And the penalties for ignoring this act? They are no joke. As of 2025, you could be fined up to this amount for every single email that isn't compliant. Just think about that. Sending one bad campaign to a list of only 1,000 people could, in theory, completely bankrupt your business.
But here's the good news. Staying compliant is actually really straightforward. There are 5 main rules. First, be honest in your from line and your subject. Second, you have to identify the message as an ad. Third, include a real physical address. Fourth, give people a super clear and easy way to opt out. And fifth, you've got to honor those unsubscribes and fast. You know what's funny? These aren't just legal hoops to jump through. They're just good marketing practices that build trust and make your emails better anyway.
So, you have the engine, you know the rules of the road, but now you've got to make sure your machine is finely tuned. This last part is all about one thing, making sure your emails actually get seen.
This all comes down to a super important concept called sender reputation. The easiest way to think about it is like a credit score, but for your email program. Internet service providers, like Gmail and Outlook, are constantly scoring you. If you have a high score, your emails land right in the inbox. A low score? You're going straight to the junk folder. Now, you might see a metric like a 97% delivery rate in your reports and think, hey, I'm doing great. And yeah, that sounds amazing, right? But this is where things get a little tricky because delivery is not the same thing as deliverability. And that leads us to the most important question you can ask.
See, an email is technically delivered as long as it doesn't bounce back. But that so-called delivered email could have landed right in the spam folder, where no one will ever see it. That little difference is what can make or break your entire strategy.
So what are the ISPs looking at to make that inbox or spam decision? Well, it's a whole mix of things. Your technical setup, having the right authentication, things like SPF and DKIM, which are basically digital signatures that prove you are who you say you are. Your sender score, how clean your email list is, and yeah, even the words and design inside your email.
So at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. When you put together a powerful platform, a solid understanding of the law, and a relentless focus on deliverability, your email program becomes an incredible asset for growth. But if you cut corners on any of those pieces, you risk turning it into a very, very expensive liability. So the only question left is, which one is yours?